Spider-Man? What are you doing here?
Well, in this video, I'm just going to draw Spider-Man. Now, I'm looking at a reference. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description of what I was looking at. It's a really cool pose, and I'm like, I'm going to do a painting of it. You know, I first started doing this image, and I was thinking of actually like going the whole like drawing it and then inking it and coloring route, and then I'm just like, you know what? No. I'm gonna paint it, you know. It's kind of my comfort zone, and it's just faster for me, you know. I don't feel like doing lasso tools and selecting things out and just, you know, yeah, that's just not me. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna answer a question or two from the comments, and here we go.
Dirksy123 says, I'm curious, does the "oh my god, I'm not good enough" feeling ever go away? Like, do you ever get depressed about your art? Because I always see people with amazing art, and I can't help but feel this is blind panic. Like, I'm 17, I should be better than this. Like my own art, not their art. Why am I not good enough yet? It's been over a decade of art, and I'm still not good enough. Well, let me just say, I don't know a single artist, both student or professional, who feels that they're good enough, including myself. It's like we're always trying to get better, and especially if we're seeing other people's artwork on the internet, or, you know, well, actually, I guess only the internet. I mean, I don't think anyone has magazines anymore. Do they? I don't. Whatever. So, does the feeling go away? I mean, there's a certain point when you're doing art, when you're in the zone, when you're in the flow of it, and it's all happening all beautifully and whatever, you sort of forget everything, and that's kind of what you're going for, because when you're in that zone, and you're not worried about what people think of your work or whatever, or you're not worried about your own work not being good enough, then your best work ends up happening, right? Because if you think about it, the less stress that you have, the better state you are in to do something, right? So in this case, it would be doing art. And, you know, of course, you're gonna get the feeling of where it doesn't feel like you're progressing, but in reality you are. I mean, I never feel that I'm progressing and getting better. By the way, I'm trying to get better. Everyone is, I think. So yeah, that feeling, it's there. It comes back, goes away. I mean, I've been in the zone before where I'm just doing my own thing, and especially when I'm doing something that I'm committed to never show to anybody, like whether it's a study or whatever, that usually tends to be my best work. But yeah, here's what I can say. The moment you try and the moment you compare yourself to somebody else, or the moment you try and compare yourself to other people's work, you are putting yourself in this hole of misery, and you keep digging deeper, right? So comparison is the best shortcut to misery. But if you stop comparing yourself, and I understand that you have to have some kind of standard so that you can work on it or whatever, but if you keep beating yourself up for not being as good as, you know, so-and-so, then it's kind of detrimental. And art and drawing and learning and painting, it should be a positive process. It shouldn't be like pain, right? I was just listening to Sykra's speed painting, or a couple of his. I should have listened to his stuff earlier. There's a lot of great content there, especially, you know, you get to watch him draw, and it's great. So one thing he said, there's a statement called "no pain, no gain," and he was saying how he disagrees with it. Me too, because art shouldn't be painful, right? It's an enjoyable process. It's like you're putting marks down on a piece of paper, and you're having fun, and you're discovering things, and you're, you know, making stuff up, or you're studying something. It's a good feeling process. It's a positive process, or at least it should be. But the moment it becomes painful or, you know, annoying, I mean, you have to ask yourself, do you even want to do that? You know, if it's such a, you know, negative experience, you have to understand that all these artists that are really good, they didn't get good because they were, you know, hating the whole process. Like, I'm good now, but it was an awful situation. No, it was like, I don't know, it just felt good, and so I just kept doing it, you know?
And so if you start thinking about, oh, am I good enough, that sort of makes it a negative experience. And it brings you down, and you just want to walk away from your art and just be like, whatever, I don't care anyway, right? We've all been there. I've been there. And it's like me talking about it now is sort of a shortcut for you. So the best thing I could say is don't think about it. Because if you, much like working out or losing weight or getting in shape, the more you think about it, like, let's say you're planning to go running. You know running works. You can get in shape, build up endurance, and burn calories, etc. But if you start thinking about, but I have to put my shoes on, and you start thinking about, but where am I going to run outside in the same route over and over again, or the treadmill? It's going to be so boring. These thoughts are destined to keep you from actually doing it, right? They're excuses, and our bodies are sort of designed to keep you in the comfort zone. And the comfort zone is at home on the couch, like that feels good, until you realize that you're just unhealthy and miserable and depressed. But yeah, but the more you think about the excuses, etc., then you won't do it. But if you just, without thinking, put your running shoes on and you just go out the front door and tell yourself, I'll think about it later, and obviously you don't actually think about it later, but you end up running, right? Or lifting, or doing jumping jacks, whatever. Same thing with art. If you start by thinking, well, I'm not good enough, and I wish I was as good as yada yada, or oh, man, I have to think about, what tools am I going to use because my previous one wasn't good enough. And it's this attitude that I don't think should be tied with this art at all, right? You want to try to design it to be a good experience. So back to Dirk's comment about I'm 17 and I should be better. Well, I mean, that's still very young. Not that age matters. I think no matter what age you are, you can definitely get really good anyway. You just got to put in the mileage. There's the whole 10,000 hours rule. If you've ever read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about this, like the Beatles, all these people that are successful and whatever. They put in 10,000 hours of whatever it was, Beatles being music, and did poorly. They had a lot of failures, and it's like 10,000 hours of perceived failures from their own perspective, until people were like, "Hey, you're good," and they're like, "Oh, we are? Okay, cool." And so, being 17, 10 years, I guess that is more than 10,000 hours, but know that everybody's different and they learn at a different pace. So for me, I mean, I'm 27 now. I've been drawing apparently since I was 2, my mom tells me, but imagine if you that's not to say that you need to spend 27 years. Like, I wish somebody was out there, or like I wish there was YouTube that was like kind of giving me shortcuts, and that's kind of what I'm doing for you right here, right now, so that you don't have to kind of face the same road bumps, and especially the mindset one. You have to be in the right mindset. And in my video about dream killers and naysayers, that was a huge one. That, I mean, I could be so much better now if I had, if someone had told me the things that I spoke about, So you still got time. And I'm 17. I should be better than it. I don't know. It's like you probably are good enough in somebody else's eyes. I don't think my work is up to par with what I imagine it to be. Imagine it should be. So it's like, yeah, but I don't get depressed about it. I mean, I have had like days where I just hated the fact that I wasn't able to, pull off a painting in 7 seconds, stupid, ridiculous, delusional insecurities, right? I guess I get upset if my painting doesn't look good within the first 60 seconds. It's like these little things that I had to slowly stop worrying about, because I realized like a lot of the best artists that I know, they spend a lot of time on their work. They're not, and it's beautiful to me to watch this, because they don't care about what the internet thinks, and is setting an example for me, like, because I hate the fact that a lot of my work is when I start it, I think about how it's going to be perceived online or whatever. So I had to make a separate kind of folder of artwork that I'm never going to show, at least not for a while, because I don't want it to be contaminated with the mindset of having an audience viewing it. You know, it really contaminates it, and it's a bad thing. And I haven't really mastered the whole, you know, being able to get over that thing yet. So yeah, see, I'm still working on stuff. And so Dirksy123, I think, you know, just don't worry about it. Just keep going. Put in that mileage. Draw anything. Pick something and master it. You know, if you want to draw cars, you know, draw a bunch of cars. If you want to get good at drawing faces, draw hundreds of faces. You know, fill up an entire sketchbook of faces. But try to enjoy it. You know, don't think that anyone is hovering over your shoulders and judging you for not having the right proportions on the face. Well, of course, you know, you're not going to get it right away. You have to do it wrong first, almost on purpose. Like, you know, I'm going to spend at least half of this sketchbook doing it wrong and improper and horrible and just the worst drawings ever, because I know that A, that's mileage, and B, afterward, it's just, I'm going to be so much better anyway, right? That's science. Like, you just put in the mileage and you're going to get better. That's it, you know? And again, it's going to be hard to perceive your own work for being better, because I still, to this day, can't see, you know, improvement until I'm comparing with artwork that I've done like years ago, right? So, you know, it's different for everybody. So just you know, not only to you but to everybody listening, just keep going. You have my support, you know. Although I can't sit here and reply to every comment, I can't answer every message on Facebook, but I'm doing what I can. I'm trying to cover everything through here, and so yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Well, I know I'll do this, I'm supposed to do a video about blending and how I use my brushes, and that's up next, I think, hopefully. I figure I would just pick a painting that I've done and either add to it or whatever, but do that by showing how I use my brushes and which brushes I actually use, because it's the most common question, so... yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Check out the Facebook, follow the Instagram, subscribe on the YouTubes, and what else? Yeah. Alright. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
What's up, guys? It's me, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Spider-Man.